3, 2, 1. Welcome back to another episode of Unlearned and Reborn, a podcast where old habits are unlearned and new ones are reborn. I am thankful for AutoPilot, and just imagine if we had to tell our brains to do things like swallow, tell our brains, okay, come on, it's time to breathe, tell our eyes, okay, come on, it's time to blink. Like all of that stuff is involuntary. But what if it was voluntary to where we had to literally every function of our body, we had to manually turn on and off throughout the day? Do you not living would be stressful. Hey, how y'all feeling today? What's up, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify? Welcome back to another episode of Unlearned and Reborn. Y'all, we gotta clap it up. The pod has hit 1,000 downloads. Yay. I am so excited. Like, that is so encouraging. And that lets me know that y'all are liking what you're hearing and you're sharing it with your friends. So thank y'all for that. Today's episode is for my mamas and my wives. I want to talk to y'all about AutoPilot. Being on AutoPilot, feeling like you just spent your whole day and you can't even recall what the heck you was doing. Have any of y'all felt like that? Don't worry. Come on. Let's sit down and have a conversation. So, man, I had to Google this because, of course, AutoPilot is the nickname for automatic pilot, right? So I'm like, okay, I'm going to Google it and see what Google talking about. So Google defines this as acting or functioning without conscious thought as a result of routine or habit. So how many of y'all have felt like you have a routine, you have a habit of the way that you do things? Wives, mamas, raise your hand. I'm raising my hand, right? You get up, you get the kids ready for school, or if they're not old enough to go to school yet, you get them ready, for the morning. You're brushing their teeth, you're getting them breakfast, you're setting out their morning toys, or however it is that you do. But have you ever found that while you're doing that, say you sit your phone down and you forget where you set your phone down at, and now you are tearing your house up trying to find out where you set your phone at, and come to find out you set your phone on top of the fridge because you had got the milk out for the kids because they needed milk for the cereal, and then you got milk out for your coffee, and you just sat it on top of the fridge. Somewhere your phone normally does not go. Like, y'all, AutoPilot is great. It's necessary, right? But I'm telling you, sometimes, especially back when I was pregnant, I felt like that doggone brain of mine was just not working. Like, babes, why are you putting your phone on top of the fridge? Like, what are you doing? What are you trying to record, a TikTok? Like, what's going on? And I just felt like, man, I have to make sure that I am not operating on this thing all the time. So how do you not operate on AutoPilot? Well, I think I'm getting ahead of myself. First, I want to talk to you about like what AutoPilot meant to me and how I even figured out that, okay, this might not be something that I should be doing all the time, right? So in therapy, they taught us how useful, AutoPilot was and how necessary it is, because if you are in a life or death situation, you don't have time to tell your brain, oh my gosh, this dog is chasing me, feet, pick up speed and jump on top of this car. Like, your brain, your body is, adrenaline's pumping. It's just going to react like, okay, bet. Sorry, Mercedes-Benz, but I got to get on top of this roof. Like, there's no thought about it. You're just going to do it because you feel like your life is in danger. So in that sense, I get it. I'm thankful for AutoPilot, and just imagine if we had to tell our brains to do things like swallow, tell our brains, okay, come on, it's time to breathe, tell our eyes, okay, come on, it's time to blink. Like, all of that stuff is involuntary. But what if it was voluntary to where we had to literally every function of our body, we had to manually turn on and off throughout the day? Do you not living would be stressful. It would be very hard to do what we do. Like, I just couldn't imagine having to do that. So in that sense, I am grateful for AutoPilot, right? And how many of y'all have felt like, wives, moms, it's hard for you to actually settle down and actively be present while you're doing tasks? For example, like cooking, cleaning, playing with your children. Like, how many of y'all have felt like that's another exercise, for example, that we did in therapy? They teach us about mindfulness, right? And how you are literally training your brain to focus on being present in this very moment, not doing anything else, not worrying about your chore to-do list, not worrying about your job, not worrying about, oh, I got to go do that laundry when I get home. Mindfulness is a practice that is worrying about this very moment right here, me and you right here, right now. Y'all, when they first introduced mindfulness to us in this therapy group that I'm in, I was like, this is aggravating. I just felt like, oh my goodness. Okay, so you want me to focus on one task. You want me to do just this right here. And then they're, doing okay, you close your eyes, breathe in, breathe out. Imagine that you are walking on a beach and, imagine that, your toes are in the sand. Can you feel how warm the sand is? Can you feel the sand in between your toes? Wiggle your toes. Do you feel that? That's the sand. That is the ground beneath you. That is, all of that. And I remember the first couple times they did it, I was just like, this is irritating. I have so much stuff I need to get done. And, at first I was really upset because I'm just like, okay, they only would do it for a minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. And I'm like, man, I just feel like my brain is just bouncing all over the place. But they later explained that our mind is designed to wander. We have to really train our brains to have the mental capacity and strength to, focus on one set task for an extended period of time. That's why TikTok is so popular. 30 to 60 second, videos. It's like my husband always says, TikTok is so mindless. You're just swiping, double tapping, sharing, commenting, swiping again. You could spend a couple of hours on TikTok without you even, really realizing that you spent that much time, right? And that just goes back to the autopilot. Man, y'all, it is so hard to really be present today in 2022 because I just feel like there's so many things that have our attention. If you have multiple children, you know how it is when you're trying to get 2 kids ready for y'all just to go to the park, a simple park trip. It's like if you don't have them clothes sit out, if you don't have the shoes already put together, and for me, my kids, they wear different sizes, but, they do have similar clothes and even some of the same shirts. I just have it in, the respective sizes. So, I have to make sure that, I'm not moving so fast to where, I don't put a too small shirt on my oldest and the too big shirt on my youngest. Autopilot again, just brain just moving too fast. That's how I would always feel when I was pregnant. Man, my brain is just moving so fast. I would lose my phone so much. And I can honestly say, when I'm on autopilot, do I get a lot of stuff done? Yes. Am I able to enjoy my day? No, because my day is filled with so many tasks. It's like you wake up to a never-ending to-do list. And it's like, girl, I knocked off everything off my list, but sis, did you relax? Did you sit down today? No. So now you're stressed because, your day was just filled with running around. So, autopilot, I wanted to break it down into 2 parts. Autopilot as a mom and autopilot, as a wife. So first, autopilot as a mom, I feel like it is beneficial because, like I said, when you have multiple children, you need a routine. Mamas, come on now. If you're watching on YouTube, I need you to comment down below. What is your routine like for those babies? Do you have a morning routine? When it's during the school year, do you have a school routine? I want to know what your routine is because, babes, it's hard. And see, my sons don't go to school yet. So, my routine, I knew I had to set it early. And I knew I had to set it, as soon as our oldest was, old enough to kind of really, start, moving around a little bit more on his own. So, like, kind of more so, I mean, when he started crawling, I mean, honestly, I probably started getting him in a routine probably like 5, 6 months. When he would go to bed, he's like, our oldest is like a night owl. He's like his dad. But Leo's like me. Like, okay, I can hang with you, but once I'm ready to go to bed, I will see y'all in the morning. Y'all not about to keep me up all night. And that's how Leo is. But Braylon, I had to get him in a routine again because he was a night owl. So I found that, me being on autopilot during the day with him, by setting that routine, setting that habit, that was very, very beneficial for me because I felt like I was mastering my time. So, in that sense, I was like, okay, this is necessary. I need to set this routine and I need it to be easy enough to where I'm not thinking too much about it. Like, oh my gosh, what can he have for breakfast? What can he have for lunch? Okay, we got 3 options. We're going to do pancakes, waffles, cereal. Easy. Lunch, sandwich, um, spaghetti, noodles. Whatever the case may be. In the snack, I had yogurt. They had animal crackers. I mean, just very, and that stuff for me, especially now, it's for sure mindless because I'm not even really thinking about it because I'm in that routine, right? But the flip side of that, mamas, y'all know, when y'all plan out that beautiful schedule and it's just like, yes, girl, you did your thing. I see you, girl. It's amazing. Kids have a way of ripping that schedule to shreds. Yeah. Yeah, kids have a way of really just showing you how much they appreciate you by doing the complete opposite of what you had planned for the day. I know your mamas, especially with multiples, you know how like they take turns throwing their tantrums. Like, I saw a video and the lady, she was taking her daughters to school and the daughter's like screaming, I wanted to open the door. And she's like, okay, well just go back and open it. And she's like screaming, falling out on a thing, falling out in front of the door. And she's like, just go back and open it. And she literally walks in the house, closes it, open the door, closes it again and was like, yay. Like, that's just kids for you. Like, they have a way of just disrupting the flow of the day. They really do. And, being mindful and present in those moments, I feel like that's really helped me with how I react because I used to be a very reactive parent. Like, very reactive parent, pop, like, stop, no, fussing and yelling. And I'm just like, you know what? I just told my husband literally yesterday. I was like, babe, like, I'm gassed. I can't do the whole pop, thing anymore. Like, do I still give them pops? Yes, but not nearly as much as I used to because I'm just like, it takes so much energy out of me to like being present alone. I'm going to be honest. It's draining. It can be draining at times, to just sit there, actively listening like that. Listen, when you learn how to actively listen, you will realize that you do not actively listen a lot. Like, actively listening literally means you do not focus on anything else but you and this person talking. And then you are to repeat back. So what I'm hearing you say is autopilot, being on autopilot is beneficial for you. And you like being on autopilot because you find that it's a great routine for your children. You like having a set, routine in the morning, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, man, when I had to switch off autopilot and start being present, I just realized how much challenging it was. And for me, I don't mind a challenge. So it made me want to be better at being present, at being mindful, and, just, occasionally turning off the autopilot. Like when I play with our kids and I go in their room and I play with them, I try my best to be present. I'll put my phone on loud and I'll, sit it beside me. And I'm not really, focusing on that because, and I've tried it for like I've tried it, I think like 2 or 3 times, just literally sitting down and I just randomly do it. Just go in there and go play with them. And just how excited and present that they are being, with me because they see that, okay, mommy's not on her phone. Mommy's not, she's not watching her TV show. She's actually in here playing with us. And I just feel like it's like it's kind of like being an example of what you would want them to do. Like I'm teaching them to, you don't always have to have a tablet. You don't always have to be, in front of a TV screen. Like we're going to play with these toys right here. Come on, let's do the colors. Come on, let's do the numbers. Let's do the alphabet type stuff. So, you know, and it just goes back again to being present. So, even now, we have a 3-year-old and a 2-year-old. I used to just tell them, oh, go do, go clean your room, go do this. And it's like, kids, again, remember disrupting the schedule? So instead of me just telling them, I do tell them, but still I try, to occasionally go in there and actually get down and clean up with them because they start off cleaning up. And then I peek my head around the corner and they are now, one of them is cleaning up. One of them is taking the toys that the other one has put away and taking them back out. So it's like, okay, I'm going to actually be present, sit down with y'all and help y'all clean, or really just monitor y'all cleaning because y'all attention span is just like a fly. So, even me being a stay-at-home mom, right? It can be challenging at times too because I feel like there's a constant tug of war between the self-care and the home life. Self-care being, the things I like to do. I like to get pedicures. I like to go get waxed. I like to, keep my hair done. I do my own hair. I like to go to the gym. I like to go shop. Those type of things for myself are very, very important. And see, even I try not to even do those on autopilot because that's really something I'm really trying to master, you guys, is being more present in my own life. I can't control what other people are doing, but if I can be more present within myself, within my day, I just feel like I've actually been useful for the day versus where I would go days at a time of just busy, 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 busy. And of course, I could kind of recall what I did for the day, but it would just be a lot of like chores and just, things. A lot of moms that are stay at home moms, one of their biggest, I don't know if complaints is the right word, but one of their biggest issues is that they say that they don't have a good balance. They don't have a good balance of being a stay-at-home mom, also a wife, and also having time for themselves. So, when you're able to switch off autopilot and be present, I feel like things just, are more, I feel like I'm able to appreciate my time more because I'm not just aimlessly just giving it away. 30 minutes on TikTok is different than 30 minutes helping kids with homework. Because helping kids with homework, that 30 minutes is going to seem like 30 hours. Yes. But it's crazy because, like I said, 30 minutes on TikTok, that's nothing. We'll say, oh, that ain't nothing. So, shout out to stay-at-home moms. I feel you. I'm with you. Take that time because you don't want your home life to be so great and then your self-care is bottom of the barrel low. It has to be, imagine that scale that I talk about in the previous episodes. It has to be a very, very good balance. And I'm not going to lie, it will not always be leveled. There are going to be times because life happens where, school season, where the home life is going to be a little bit more up than the self-care. Or, if your kids, you have multiple kids and then they're in different sports, you a soccer mom, you on a PTA, listen, like it's going to be a little bit off. But you just want to make sure that you have a routine for set, like I want to get to the point, and I'm not there yet just because every day I try to do something self-care. I just have the schedule right now where I can just, put the boys down for a nap and do what I would like to do, or tell my husband, hey, I want to go, do this. And he's like, okay, cool. I'll watch the boys. But I would like to, in the years to come, of course, when I get into school and things like that, I would really like to have set self-care days. I think that's amazing. I think that's inspiring because you're honoring yourself and giving yourself that time to have that space to where you say from 12 to 2, it's all about me. Because guess what? Outside of those 2 hours, it's about my husband, it's about my kids, it's about my job, it's about my my extended family, it's about my friends, it's about my, the different programs that I'm a part of. But, just gifting yourself that time Can y'all do that? I think y'all can do that. So remember, I said autopilot as a mom. So that's how I felt at autopilot as a mom. Then autopilot as a wife. Y'all, wives. I feel like, see, it's a little different when you're autopilot as a wife because for me, you're just trying to make sure that, your husband, is he's set. He's good for the day. My husband works, during the night. So I try to make sure that, laundry's folded up and, his uniform is, out, stuff that he needs is together and socks and, shirts and underwear, that kind of thing. Um, I do feel like in a way it's also different because, it's your spouse. So just learning, me and my husband, we just celebrated our fifth year anniversary. Clap it up for that. Oh, there we go. Yes, I love you. So, over the years, I really desired to learn my husband and his needs, right? And I wanted to, his needs and wants, so that, in a sense, because I feel like I am learning him and I'm mastering, you know, what, he would want in this type of scenario. I am on autopilot, for some things. Like, as far as if I say, okay, babe, let's order in, I could probably count on my hand the top places that he would say he would want to eat. So that's a sense of, autopiloting because that's a routine. That's a habit for him. I know that when we travel, I need to make sure I pack soap, get him an extra toothbrush and toothpaste because I know my husband is more focused on making sure his PS5 is in the luggage and his shoes and his hats and his clothes and things like that. So I just make sure that, the bag has that stuff in there too. And, just being careful as a wife that I don't be so much on autopilot that I can't allow, those small moments, where we can be present with each other. I really enjoy, him spending time with me because he plays the game a lot, and I don't really mind that. He's literally home, and I know that that's something that he likes to do, so that really doesn't bother me. I just really like the little times where he'll say, okay, well, babe, I want to do this today. Time like husbands, when y'all carve out things that y'all say that y'all, want to do and we don't have to ask, that is so amazing. That is so nice. It makes us feel so cute. Like, okay, let me go get dressed. Let me go get ready. And I get it. Stuff is not priced the same. Things are expensive now. So I tell my husband all the time, we don't always have to leave the house. I'm fine with a movie and, you know, ordering in, one of our favorite places. I like wine. We can get some wine going. Like, I just want to hang out with you. I want to spend time with you. And that's just something that I value, and I really try to turn that autopilot off in those times. I try my best to remember, wives, ladies, don't forget to invite your spouse into your space. I know you say, "Oh, girl, we always with each other all the time." That's different. You guys could be in the same bed, but be miles apart in the relationship, and that's because you've become complacent. You really don't, y'all really aren't present with each other anymore. It's more like, yeah, it's the autopilot, the routine, the habit. Okay, give you a kiss on the cheek, before I go to work. I come home, I put the dishes that I took for lunch, I put those in the sink. I shower, I go get in the bed and lay down. Then it's your turn. You get up and you go deal with it. Like, it's just a constant cycle. And it's like, just remember that your spouse is still a person. Remember that, they can't read minds, ladies. Men cannot read minds. And if there's something that, that's troubling you or something that, you want to do with your spouse, just be present. Like, presence I think that is one of the most underrated traits and things that we can give to one another. Presence. It's nothing like being able to say that, oh, when I lost my loved one, My homegirl, she was there for me. For me, personally, for Shania, that is something that I will always put at the top of my list over any monetary gift, over anything that somebody could buy me with money. Your presence, especially if it was in a time of need, your presence, man, that to me holds some serious weight. So, that's just what I want y'all to take away from this episode is that autopilot isn't necessarily bad. It's really not. It's necessary for our survival, for sure. Like I said earlier, when that dog is chasing you, you gonna need some autopilot so that you don't get your leg bitten off. But, make time to turn it off where you're active with your children, active with your spouse, active at your job, active with your family. Make sure that you are making time to be here, because all I think about now is me being 26, our children being 3 and 2, and I already have 23. There's already a 23-year gap between me and my oldest. And, I'm not going to be 26 all the time. I'll be 27 in March, and time is just going to keep going, and I'm going to watch them grow. I'm going to watch them flourish, get older, accomplish things. And it's like, I would love to say that I wish that I would always be able to be there and see what they're doing. But I know realistically, I don't know how much time I have left. And that's why it's so important to be present. Like, I told myself I'm going to be better about taking pictures, right? And that's one thing I've noticed. That's how I know I'm mastering being present. Because, y'all, when I am having a good time, baby, I'm telling you, I don't take no pictures. I don't be on my phone. And sometimes it's like, I think that's great. But sometimes I feel like, dang, I should have took a picture with, like I didn't take a picture with some of like a lot of people when I was just in Houston. I didn't take pictures with my cousins. I didn't take a picture with my aunt. I was like, oh my gosh, darn. Like I should have took more pictures. But that just lets you know, like I was so present and involved with what I was doing. I did not care about no picture because I'm like, I'm creating memories up here. But I'm going to be better because, it's nothing like having a picture. What they say, if you didn't take a picture, it didn't happen. So I promise y'all, I'm going to do better with that. I'm going to take more pictures. So how do y'all feel? Listen, if you're watching on YouTube, I need you to do me a favor. I want you to comment down below. Do you have an issue with autopilot? And if you do, what are you going to do to try to be more present? The gift of presence is an underrated gift, but it is one of the most powerful gifts that you can give. So if you're listening on YouTube, I want you to like, comment, and subscribe. As of today, we have 72 subscribers. That's a big deal. I'm doing horrible with the button today, y'all. There we go. 72 subscribers. Yes. It is going up. And listen, I announced it on my Facebook page, but I am going to be revamping my personal YouTube page. And so y'all can look for me on there, and it'll be great for y'all to see, just into my life as a content creator, outside of the podcast, more of just me as a person. But yeah, I'm so excited. Also, if you'd like to donate to the show, I will leave it in the description. You can click the link tree, and it is called The Jar of Love. If you would like to donate to the show, I would greatly appreciate it. That would go towards our I say our like I got a team. I'm speaking it into existence. But it goes towards to keep the show alive. So subscriptions that I currently partake in to keep the show alive. So yes, if you'd like to do that, that'd be great. Lastly, if you listen on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, please follow the show. It really helps me out. And make sure that you set your phone up for automatic downloads. It helps the show. I love to see you here. I love that you love being here. And, we in this together. Okay? Can y'all do that for me? Listen, be kind to one another. Be kind to yourself. And mamas and wives, be present. Turn off autopilot every now and again and make sure that you are taking care of yourself. Can you do that for me? Pinky promise? You said you would? Okay, I'm going to hold you to it. All right, see you next week. Peace.